Do you know how to talk to your wife? Do you know the best way to talk with your husband so that he will pay attention? Have you lost how to talk to your kids? Have you been in fight lately? I want you to know that the key to good marriage, to good relationship, is the way you speak to one another. Communication, communication, communication. Pop the question, get yes, get married. Put that as the crown of the book. It shows that prayer, in fact, actually, praying with one another is the fastest and assured way to increase intimacy and communication. It's a proven tool that God has given to us. And when you pray with your friend, with your spouse, with your children, in fact, communication will be a lot easier.
Pop the question, get yes, get married. There's two things I really like about this book. One is when I'm getting advice, especially about an important subject, the most important subject almost, like marriage, I don't want advice from a counselor or a psychologist based on their personal experience. I want that advice from an authoritative source. And this book quotes the Bible, and I'm quite confident in the advice about marriage. The other thing I really like about it is it gives you very practical step-by-step instructions on how to find a spouse, qualify a spouse, and keep a spouse. And that's a really difficult thing in marriage, is maintaining that relationship after you get married, after the honeymoon is over. So I love this book.
One thing that people say about relationships is that they're complicated. Friendships, dating relationships, not to mention marriage, which I can only imagine must be the most complicated relationship you could ever enter into. The really cool thing about this book is it demystifies relationships so that they don't have to be as complex. We don't have to make our lives more difficult than they have to be. And also it's based in scripture, which is obviously, one of the best places you can get your advice. So I really recommend this book for anyone really who's entering into a romantic relationship or who is already married, just because it makes your life simpler.
What I liked and what we liked, because it's a partnership, is some of the tools that were described. Some of the facilities as being life coach found that we were self-empowered to make all that happen.
We really enjoyed the book. We found it very informative in the different separate chapters that we read, but we really enjoyed chapter 5, which had to do with the background questions, and we found that it initiated a lot of conversations that we hadn't quite had yet, and we actually learned more about each other. And the interesting thing was we learned more that we were actually on the same page with one another more than what we really anticipated to begin with, so that was nice.
Everybody should read this book. Husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, single people, married people, everybody should read this book. It's going to show you not to go for the first person who comes your way. It's going to teach you that it's all right to be picky and that it's all right to wait around for the right one to come. The best part about this book is that it's scripturally based. It comes from a higher authority, and that's a very, very good thing in my opinion. This is a very great book.
I wrote this book because it is very important to me to see marriages succeed. I've talked with different people, single people, married people, and I discover that everybody really wants a successful, happy marriage. Some people are afraid of getting into marriage because of the poor and bad examples they have seen around them. But that can be changed. There are people who have given up hope in their marriages, but that can be changed. hopes have come back because the couple decided to seek the face of God. And I have compiled together resources from the Bible that will help you come to that place you need in your relationship. Whether you are looking for someone to marry or you're already married. In fact, people who have good marriages need this book. I call them marriage coaches because they need to help others. If your marriage is falling apart, you can start from the last chapter where I have 10 ways you can learn how to speak with your spouse and get things turned around. I also made sure I point out 10 other ways that destroy relationship. Leave the accusation to the devil. It is really my privilege for your opportunity to listen to what I have to say about this book. Pop the question, get yes, get married.